Oh, hello. Welcome to today's video, or tonight's video. We're going to have some Ashes of Faith pre-order day hype, and if you hang on to the end of the video, a small leak of potentially rules from this upcoming set. Ooh. So, it's currently, 11:15 UK time at night? So I have stayed up till 10 AM in New Zealand to see the pre-orders go live on the New Zealand website. Sometimes when the pre-orders go live on gamesworkshop.com, we get some interesting new information from the extra images that they upload in that sort of sales pitch that we didn't get from the sort of preview things that we get. I have to admit, this time around it's not been particularly fruitful, but having stayed up all night just waiting for the images to come up, we'll go through them anyway. So first we got these two lovely pieces of art that I do think look pretty cool. So that's some art. I did notice that it's still in stock in New Zealand. Let's check right now at time of recording. Can I do that? Maybe. Let's go to Games Workshop web store. We're set to New Zealand, of course. Pre-orders. Yeah, see, it's still in stock now. That shouldn't be exciting, but it is. So we're now at 17 minutes past. So it's been up for nearly 20 minutes, and it's not sold out. I mean, I don't know how many people in New Zealand are actually buying this stuff, but that's kind of exciting, isn't it? I think so, potentially. Right. Good. So we see these up on the website. So we get a good look at what looks like a dashboard to track the campaign element of Ashes of Faith. We'll talk more about that in a minute or two. So that's nice. I mean, kind of annoying for me because I try and play Kill Team on a quite a small square IKEA table where the Kill Team board just about fits. So I don't actually have a whole load of real estate to put an extra game board out next to that board. We'll have to use like a little side table or something. I guess if you're a normal person and you're playing, like a lot of people play Kill Team on the middle of a giant 40k board that they've just got set up in the house. So that's cool. You've got some space for an extra board. I did find it kind of funny. So they've shown a transfer sheet in a lot of the promo shots. So it's like, oh, we're getting new transfers. No, we're getting the transfers from the Horus Heresy box set. The one about the burning of Prospero, which is all about the Thousand Suns and the Space Wolves. You're getting a load of Thousand Suns and Space Wolves transfers. It's really quite funny. Why are we getting a load of Thousand Suns and Space Wolves transfers? Well, because this box, Ashes of Faith, includes 5 Sisters of Silence. And the Sisters of Silence are supposed to have Imperial Eagle tattoos on their foreheads / scalps. And so this transfer sheet has 4 tiny black Imperial Eagles that are included for you. What's even more bizarre is that the heavy metal team doesn't even always include these eagles on the foreheads when they show off Sisters of Silence. So, yeah, just funny. You're not getting new transfers, though, in case you thought you were. No cool Inquisition transfer sheet for you. Right, we're going to go over some stuff that you've probably already seen, but, it's here, and I've got a video to fill with things, and we haven't gone through it. So these are the Agents rules from Warcom that we were uploaded a few days ago, and I'm just going to give you my kind of take on them. So first of all, we've got the Inquisitorial Mandate. The Kill Teams have a maximum roster and dataset limit of 30 operatives instead of 20, and it replaces their faction keyword with the Inquisitorial Agent keyword. So that means, for anyone that's not totally in the loop, if you want to... So you can roster 7 agents, right, as a minimum, and then that would give you space for 4 different ancillary supports. So you can't, even if you take the minimum number of Imperial agents, you can't, it would appear, roster all of the different support assets because you've got the choice of... the Tempestus Scions or the Sisters of Silence that come in the box, And then you can add the Kazakin, the Breachers, the Adeptus Arbites, and the Vet Guard. So you're only picking 4. In reality, I think you're only picking 3 because I think you'll want to roster more actual Inquisition agents as well. Obviously, I don't know what the rules are like. I don't know what the best way to play them is going to be. But if you want to, you can take, I think it's a squad of 12 total, right? Or is it? Yeah. So that will eat into your roster space. We're going to look at a few other things on here. So we've got the scoped plasma pistol. So it does say that the duelist here has 2 pistols, and the plasma pistol can be fired without a range limitation. Although you'll notice that at that range limitation, you don't have the option to fire it on overcharge. So you kind of mostly have a plasma gun, but without the option for overcharge. That's pretty cool. Presumably, it says scoped in brackets here. Presumably it's going to have 2 firing modes, and if somebody comes within range red, you're going to gain the option to fire it with an overcharge, but we don't know. We learn one rule about the scribe here, irrefutable report for 1 AP. So select one objective marker. Until the operative performs this action again, while this operative is within blue of that objective marker, it dominates it. A friendly operative that dominates an objective marker always controls it, regardless of any other rules or the APL of enemy operatives within the required distance of it. If an enemy operative would also dominate the objective marker, control is determined as normal. The operative can only perform this action once per battle, can't perform it while within engagement range of an enemy operative. What's interesting is the phrasing, until the operative performs the action again, and then later on you read, it can only perform this once per battle. So effectively, once you turn it on, it stays on forever. What's also interesting is that you don't need to wait to get on the objective to target the ability, right? So select one objective marker, and until you perform the action, blah blah blah, while you're within blue, blah blah blah. But you don't need to be within blue to turn this on, to toggle it on for 1 AP. So you could select an objective marker in the middle of the board, turn it on, and then move, or potentially even do a charge action and become in engagement range. But because you'd already, you could spend 1 AP to trigger irrefutable report, 2nd AP to charge somebody to get that extra circular movement who might be on an objective, right? If you've charged them and they're already readied, they've already acted that turn, you then will have that objective at the end of that turn, because you'll be on there with this other guy, but you will trump everything else that they can do about it. So in order to then capture that objective, they're going to have to charge someone else at you to dislodge you from the combat that you're sheltering in. So that was one thing I did think of with him. Obviously, he's probably not very good at fighting, so if you pull that off, that trick that I just thought of, he's then going to get punched in the face in the next turning point, right? But obviously, we don't know what other rules or other things this team might have, but that's just something that I quickly saw. And then we've got the full data sheet here for the Interrogator Agent. So we can see the stat block for the Inquisitional Agents. They don't seem particularly interesting from their stat block. They're going to be a standard team with move 3, APL 2, GA 1, def 3, a 5-up save, 8 wounds, but remember this is the leader, so probably 7 wounds base. So very, very bog standard Imperial humans. I don't know what else we were expecting, really. He's got a gun that's okay, right? He's got a gun that is an auto pistol, and then you can shoot your auto pistol at long range, but you're hitting on 4s. Or you've got your fists. Like, really not a fighter. But he has a really cool ability, Consecrated Tome. So while this operative is selected for deployment, also select either the Denunciation or Sanctification ability for it to have for the battle, and the friendly Tome Skull operative has the other ability for the battle. Denunciation: each time a friendly Inquisitorial Agent operative fights in combat with or makes a shooting attack against an enemy operative within circle of this operative, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of that friendly operative's weapon for that combat or shooting attack. So what this is saying is you have to charge forwards, get within circle of something, right? and then anything else in your team that charges that thing, shoots at or charges that thing you're within circle of, you can add one to the attacks characteristic of that friendly operative's weapon for that combat or shooting attack. Now, for shooting, it sounds kind of innocuous to just read the words. That's actually pretty mental. On things like plasma guns, this scoped plasma gun, if it's rolling 5 dice, it will. That offsets the fact that it can't get AP2, right? That offsets completely the fact that it can't get AP2 pretty well. So, probably not quite statistically, but it's pretty damn close. So, my question is, are you doing that? Are you charging this guy forwards to get him within circle of an enemy, shooting that enemy dead, and then this guy probably dies? Or are you sending the Tome Skull forwards to do that part of the job while this guy hangs back? I'm not sure. It depends what rules the Tome Skull has. If the Tome Skull has, like super conceal and extra movement, things like that, then perhaps that is what you're doing. You're putting denunciation on the skull, and you're hanging this guy back with sanctification, because sanctification is also kind of really good. Each time an enemy operative fights in combat with or makes the shooting attack against a friendly Inquisitorial Agent operative within the circle of this operative, subtract 1 from the attack's characteristic of the enemy operative's weapon for that combat or shooting attack. Again, that's really, really good. So if you have a back line with gunners and things in, maybe from your your ancillary support, or just your servitor, or some other really high-powered target. Maybe you just sit this guy at the back. He occasionally plinks at people with his auto pistol at long range. What he mainly does is he sits there and gives you this aura of -1 attacks. And then if he's next to his Tome Skull, he can swap, right? If he's within an inch of the Tome Skull, they can swap abilities. So, obviously not sure without seeing the whole set of things how this will pan out, but you've got a very bog standard awful model here with just a really good buff or debuff that it can administer. And then we also had an article I haven't commented on about the actual the campaign, the story campaign that you can play through for 2 players. So we've seen this campaign round structure now. So a campaign of this, you're talking about 7 games of Kill Team plus some extra kind of out of the game card play stuff, right? So you play a game of Kill Team, okay, and then you have a draft stage where you earn ruse cards and conspirator cards depending on what you've done in the game, how well you did. And then you've got the scheme stage where you assign things to territories, and essentially you're trying to acquire cards from Control, Persuade, or Investigate. And as far as I can tell, and there's a bit more detail in the Warcom article, Control cards help you to win, like overall the campaign. Persuade cards make the territory generate a bonus. So you can see here, this is one of the mission cards, and it says if you have the more persuade cards, if you have more persuade tokens or whatever it might be, but if you have the persuasion benefit, you get an extra 5 additional points worth of, and it's cropped off, but it's going to say equipment, isn't it? Whereas investigate cards, if you choose to sort of kind of try and go for them in the scheme stage, they give you actual cards, a bit like in Necromunda, I feel like, where you can just play them in the middle of the game and go, actually, he's not dead, or actually, he's got hotshot ammo, or actually, he's got, little gotcha narrative cards. And which of these 3 decks, it's a bit not well worded, the article, or it wasn't to me, but you can go and read it yourself, I suppose. Which of these decks you go for is kind of up to you. Feels like you'd want to go mainly for control cards if they're the ones that are overall going to win you the game, although if you're playing a narrative campaign, would you not really rather go for the things that would make it more fun and interesting? I don't really know. And then there's a special scenario for the ritual, which you play after you've played 6 games, that gives you a grand finale. And I can say this all sounds really, really fun, and I'm actually looking forward to playing this, with the teams in the box against Mrs. TI. We'll play 7 games of Kill Team, we'll mess around with the cards, and if people are interested, we'll kind of do that on the channel as well. We'll give battle reports and let people know how it goes. Let me know in the comments if you'd be excited to see that. That's something we can easily do. Half term coming up, we can probably bash it out quite quickly, although I don't know, depends what Mrs. T.I. wants to do. I would certainly play Kill Team every day for a week, no problem. And then the bit that I've made you kind of hang on. I've kind of rambled about stuff. I've rambled about things that everybody knows, because you want to see, if you've not already seen these leaks. So, oh man, first of all, I know that leaks are divisive, and some people are like, oh my god, you're talking about leaks, that's evil. Right? I will talk about leaks occasionally. If someone had leaked the whole book, if this was really going to genuinely, ruin, Glass Half Dead or Can You Roll a Crit or any of these people who've got influencer status and they've produced whole really nice videos and done battle reports, I wouldn't be doing it. But all that's leaked is this. It's so weird and funny and spicy and hilarious not to comment on. So there's this half a page of one book that's just going around and around the internet, and it appears to show, right? So it says here, Inquisitorial Agents data cards down the left-hand side, and it appears to show the Scion Gunner and the Scion Comms, and the photo's really washed out and you can barely read anything. What you can just about see is that the ballistic skill is changed to 4+. Well, I don't know if you're aware, there's a rabid, is cult too strong a word? There's a rabid community of people who are obsessed with Kazakin being unplayably criminally awful because they have ballistic skill 4+. I mean, these people mainly congregate on 4chan, so perhaps not that surprising, but it's just really funny to me that perhaps the Scions have gone down to 4+. Now, alright, loads of things, this is a really washed out weird image. It's very probably something somebody's knocked up in Photoshop. It wouldn't be that hard to do, honestly. It's gonna cause a little bit of rending of garments. I think it's very funny. It's gonna cause a little bit of rending of garments. I think you're gonna get. I've already seen people going, "Oh well, surely this only applies to the Inquisition team. This can't possibly apply to my glorious Compendium Scions." It's like, well, we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. It could be real, though. I just think it's quite funny. I just think that people have gotten so hung up on this ballistic skill thing. I mean, listen, me and Sinbad have been saying for ages, with this Inquisition team, if what we think is going to happen is going to happen, and that they take elite points away from Kazakin when they're attached to the Inquisition team, and the Arbites lose the ability to shoot into combat, and everybody loses their, whole team abilities. Well, BS3+ Scions would be a guaranteed auto take in that situation. You would certainly never take, because you've got an issue, and I don't know the rules. I'm really excited to learn the rules, but you've got an apparent issue where Scions, Kazakin, and Vetguard are all basically doing the same thing and bringing the same basic toys to the party. And Scions having BS3, if they still had BS3, or if they do, this could be fake, they will just become the go-to asset for the standard game, because you will get a BS3 plasma gun, a BS3 hotshot volley gun, a BS3 melter gun, a BS3 grenade launcher, and then, I don't know, a comms, assuming you're allowed to take any 5 that you want. These 2 that we've seen here, gunner and comms, are probably the 2 that you take to make up your 5. Maybe they'll say you can only take 2 gunners. That would be sensible, wouldn't it? But I don't know. So yeah, BS4 Kazakin and a BS4 Scions maybe, and maybe they'll do a balanced data slate and say, by the way, you can't use Compendium Scions anymore, but maybe you'll be able to run pure Scions out of Ashes of Faith as a secret. Like, you never know. You never know. Maybe there's a secret kill team in here for just Scions, right? And a secret kill team for just Sisters of Silence. We don't know. It could happen. Alright, final thoughts. I'm actually really excited to see the rules in full. I'm really looking forward to watching all of the videos that go live at 10 a.m. UK time tomorrow from channels that are bigger than me and get advanced copies of the rules and things. So, you know, and hey, it's a double-edged sword. I can report on that thing, you know, I can say things, I can guess at things, because I generally don't know stuff. I can report on leaks. I don't owe anything to anybody, right? Which is something of an advantage, I guess. Do let me know in the comments if you're going to try and pre-order. I don't know if we should we have another look. So on the Kill Team on the New Zealand website, it is it's still in stock. You know, it's been half an hour now, right? Maybe the Kiwis don't play Kill Team. I don't know, but you know that bodes well, doesn't it? We've got alarms set. We've got reminders set. You know, had conversations with people, with managers of stores and things. I got backup plans in case we can't get it online. So hopefully we'll get a copy. Look, there's an Element Games link in the description, and on the one hand, the New Zealand site hasn't sold out yet, so perhaps, there's an argument that you could try and buy this from Element Games and save yourself a bit of money. But in all good conscience, I won't be risking it, so I can't ask you to risk it on my behalf, right? There's a very strong possibility that Element Games have got 4 boxes, and so do you really want to miss getting one at full price because you were hungry for the discount? I don't know. And maybe it's only worth it to you with that extra discount somehow, right? I don't know. If you do want to try and get it with a discount, on your head bit, if you do want to try and get it with a discount, it would be nice to use my Element Games link and try and get one of their 4 copies with the discount. But don't feel obligated to. But you can do other things. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe, you could become a channel member if you really wanted to. You could join the Discord, you could do all that sort of stuff. And I will see you soon. You know, I'll wait as long as it's polite, but I'm so zazzed for an Inquisition team that I really want to do a reaction to the rules. But I've got to let the proper influencers get their views first. I did still say I was going to do a Votan rundown. I'm not that hype about Votan. I don't like them. All right, so we'll see where we go with that. Okay, folks, that's about it. I'm rambling. I'm very tired, so I'm going to end the video there and go to bed. Bye bye.